Now, Gigi, you've got to remember you're dealing with someone who's not very technologically minded here. I know it's a personal computer, but what are all the different components?
Well, essentially, the top portion that you see here is what we call the CRT. It's much like a TV tube. It shows you what's going on, your interaction with the computer itself. The bottom portion here is the disk drive, and it takes the information off of these 3.5-inch discs and puts it into the memory in the brain of the computer.
So there's a little record inside there, huh?
Underneath, if we pull back this lever, you have the media, which stores all the information magnetically. It's much like a record that you play in a record player at home.
Okay.
It's protected because you have to keep it from getting scratched. And then here, we have the keyboard, much like a typewriter keyboard. And then you have your numeric keypad, and that allows you to enter a lot of numbers.
Right.
And then we have your function keys up along the top here, and that we'll see the benefit of that when we actually load some software packages.
Okay.
Over here is our printer. This allows us to get a hard copy on a piece of paper of whatever we're working on, whether it be on disk or in the computer's memory.
How do you get this thing working?
Okay. All we have to do is put the operating system in, turn the machine on.
And start writing on this?
What it's doing now, it's loading the intelligence into the machine, and it's indicating to the machine that it has a touch screen so that it can read the commands of touching
what do you mean,
the screen.
A touch screen? You mean you're going to be touching the screen instead of the keyboard?
Yes, and as soon as it comes up, we'll show you how it works. Notice the series of holes along all 4 sides of the screen. Essentially, they're passing infrared lights on a horizontal axis as well as a vertical axis, forming a grid so that when you touch the screen, it picks up your horizontal and vertical location on the screen.
I see. So you're breaking that grid, and that essentially is a switching mechanism, right?
Yes.
Okay. I guess what that does is save me time so that I don't have to spend a lot of time writing down instructions on the typewriter here.
Correct.
Ingenious. But how's this going to help me to become a more efficient contractor, let's say?
Well, Bob, that's a pretty tall order. But why don't we load one package called Personal Card File, which may help.
Hey, that looks just like my Rolodex index file.
Exactly. If you touch the arrows on the edge of the screen, it will scroll through.
Just as if you were rolling it. Sure. There's my plumber.
To actually see an individual in all his information, just touch the name and it appears on the screen.
Great. Now, supposing I wanted to write a letter to all the different flooring contractors I work with.
Well, that's simple. All we have to do is exit select and get into Find Cards. This allows us to find all our flooring specialists. If you notice the specialty field, we just have to type in flooring. And then find and view, and it will find all our flooring specialists.
All right. Now, supposing I want to write a letter to all of them.
Now what we're going to do is load a word processing package. Now with your word processing package loaded, you're ready to compose your letter.
Okay. Let's say it'll be a form letter. Dear blank, this old house is looking for some new and exciting projects for the upcoming year. We're coming to you because this should be a blank too. Blank will be very important in the upcoming series. If you have any new ideas, please let us know. We're anxious to work with you in the future. Regards, Bob Vila. Then what I want to do is send this letter to everybody who's on that list that is in the flooring business.
Sure. All we have to do is save the file and then send it to the printer.
Look at the speed of the thing. That's wonderful. I'll be able to basically send this same form letter to all the different vendors, all the contractors who are flooring or plastering or carpentry or whatever. And what I like about it is that it does lend that personal note. Wherever I left a blank in, and it will say their name. That's terrific. All right, well, while we're doing that, why don't we talk a little bit about another need that we would have, bookkeeping. What can we do in that respect?
Well, for your financial budgeting, what we can do is use another software package called Lotus 123. Okay, here on this display, you'll see the 5 projects that this old house is working on, as well as the trades associated with each project.
Right.
And you can see the costs for the total project along the bottom here.
These are all hypothetical.
Correct. Now, when presenting these to management or clients, what you might want to do is put it in graphic form.
Can you do that?
Sure.
Press another button.
What we'll do is we'll pull it up, a bar chart that will show our total expenses for each project.
Very nice.
And now we can take a more in-depth look at just the plumbing cost. And what we'll do is pull up a pie chart that has total plumbing cost and then the percentage from each project.
That really gives you an idea how much we spent on plumbing in each one of the 5 locations. And the Dream Kitchen certainly got the lion's share.
That's correct. The master bedroom coming in second, family room, greenhouse, and then lastly the apartment.
Yeah. Super.
And at any time you can print this to the printer.
Hey, that is terrific. You know, that's really going to come in handy for us here at This Old House. It's going to allow our producer to keep track of expenses, and it's going to help Norm keep track of when different parts of the job are being done. It's super. Thanks for showing it to us.
You're welcome. Now, do you suppose I could have one of those T-shirts?
Oh, sure, you bet. I'll even get you a hat.